Welcome to Baseball Money is Fake, a fantasy baseball podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I am Blake Meyer, and back again on a mother effing Wednesday. I will censor myself in the beginning of the podcast. Back doing the damn thing, talking about some baseball as always with my man Ryan Gilbert. How you doing today, Ryan?
I'm doing all right. You know, we're still in the dog days here a bit. We are in the second half now of August, on August 16th, but still in the middle of August, still making those playoff pushes, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Some guys you can add, and you can try to pick up that can help you put you over the edge in your league.
Yeah, we got a nice little list here. I know we didn't do a Monday episode, so we didn't really do a waiver wire episode. So this is going to kind of be waiver wire-esque episode. Some guys that we think you need to be focusing on to help you win your fantasy baseball like matchups headed towards your playoff push, because this is crunch time. This is go time. This is whatever time you want it to be. And you need to be maximizing the value you get out of your players between now and honestly the end of the year.
Yeah, this is when we preach optimizing your roster, but now is really when you should get ahead of your other managers in your league if they haven't already, and look ahead to be like, okay, playoffs are in a few weeks. I need to shore up this stat or this position, and you gotta do what you can to get your team in the best position for the playoffs.
And I think one good way to do that is by adding Gavin Williams, just to jump right into it. It's tough to fully say add him just because he wouldn't meet my waiver wire criteria on Yahoo. I think he's 54% rostered on Yahoo. So just over that 50% threshold, but he's only 21% rostered on ESPN. I know that number does come because there is a lot of ESPN leagues where people just don't pay attention. Shit happens. But Gavin Williams has been way too good lately to ignore. In his last 6 starts, he's gone 30 innings and given up 6 runs. That's good for a 1.8 ERA. 40 strikeouts in that time frame. 22 of those came in his last 12 innings. 10 in last start, 12 in the start before that, and they're all coming against good teams. I think it was at Houston, Toronto, and Tampa Bay is who he played in his last 3 starts, which is a very good stretch of teams there, all playoff teams, and he has been incredible. His teammate Tanner Bibee is doing really good as well. Does this feel like the kind of player that could help you with that playoff push, Ryan? Do you think he can keep this up?
It does, but I was trying to do some research on if he has any sort of hard innings limit or if maybe he does, because the Cleveland 4 games back in Minnesota for the AL Central lead, 4 games under 500 as well in that weak division. But yeah, like you said, Williams, most impressive thing of his past 2 starts, especially this last start, 5 innings, 10 strikeouts, no walks against Tampa Bay. And the start before, 7 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts against Toronto. And the innings limit is kind of worrying because these aren't easy innings for him either. Like he went 4 innings in back-to-back starts, and he threw 81, 87 pitches in those 4 innings. He threw 87 pitches last start in 5 innings. He seems to, I don't know if he gets himself in trouble or just gets himself into long type of counts, which they may be maybe monitoring, especially if they fall out of the playoff picture a little bit. They may be skip a start here or there. But yeah, Williams, I think if he is available in your league still, I think he's someone you should definitely pick up for his next start is on Friday at home against Detroit. Should be hopefully get in line for a win there as long as he can go 5 innings, and then he'll probably be I'm not sure who they play next week, but he'll probably be a good matchup again there. So yeah, Gavin Williams I think is a pretty good target for the next few weeks.
Yeah, and he seems to be kind of rounding into form. Like in 2 of his first 3 starts, he gave up 4 runs. It's the only times this year he's given up more than 3 runs. Sandwiched in between those was his 7-inning 1-hit outing that he had against Kansas City. His pitches have become more and more effective. He leans on the fastball, but he's got 3 pitches that he throws 16% of the time or more. He's a fastball, slider, curveball guy. All of them have about the same whiff rate. I think his slider's like 28.5%, and the fastball and curveball are both 29%. So they're very effective pitches. He gets a good swing and miss on all of them. And yeah, he's found a way to be dominant like he was in the minor leagues. And I honestly thought Cleveland was going to be a lot worse after the trade deadline. I'm very surprised with how they've been playing as of late. And yeah, him, like we mentioned, Tanner Bybee. We're not going to talk about Tanner Bybee because he's like 80% rostered, but Tanner Bybee has been on an absolute tear as well. But yeah, I think Gavin Williams, if he's not rostered in your league, he needs to be in every size league at this point, I would say.
Yeah, and something else that I tend to look for in pitchers or to kind of be wary of is that he this is his second season in professional baseball. He started last season, Class A advanced, moved up to Double A, pitched a total of 115 innings last year. I think he's up to 109 or something on the season this year overall. So that's something to watch. But yeah, Williams, as long as he's making starts, he's definitely worth an ad.
And then next after that for me would be it's been a minute since I did an episode where I felt under the weather, and I know it doesn't come across in the audio because like I fixed the audio up, but man, I can hear myself in my headphones, and I don't sound great.
You sound great.
But Mike Moustakas, a man that has been irrelevant since 2019, somehow has found a way since July 21st. He is hitting 298 with 10 extra base hits, 16 RBIs, and a strikeout rate below 20%. He is doing things. I saw a tweet that said he is doing things already for Los Angeles that Anthony Rendon hasn't done for years. He's making an impact in that lineup where, to be honest, he wasn't supposed to be an impact bat in that lineup. He was just kind of supposed to be a guy. And he's found a way to make an impact. He's driving in runs. He's consistently hitting cleanup with guys like Taylor Ward, Shohei Ohtani, CJ Cron, all those guys hitting around him. So there's always a lot of guys on base for him, and he's doing a good job of cleaning up. He does have first and third base eligibility and DH if you have a DH league. So he's got a lot of positional eligibility, and he's very low roster. I think 16% on Yahoo, if I remember correctly, and only about 5% on ESPN. Very widely owned. So if you're in a categories league, especially, he's a good source of RBI. He's a good source of runs right now. And then in a points league, he has very high value as well with that strikeout rate under 20%. He's not walking a ton, but it cannot be talked about enough how important it is to have that low strikeout rate in a points league. That amplifies somebody's value so much, especially for somebody that he doesn't have otherworldly power. He's only got 3 home runs in that time frame, but he is somebody that can give you good value, especially in deeper leagues.
Yeah, I mean, he's in a bit of a rut right now. He didn't start last night. He went 1 for 3 on Monday after going 0 for 9 over the weekend in Houston. But yeah, you said it. He's still batting cleanup for that Angels lineup. We talked about if they can get Mike Trout back. They have the pieces there. You should be able to drive in some guys. So at 15% roster, I think he's worth a look in 12-team or deeper leagues. So it's just make sure this little rut he's in doesn't isn't a tailspin into like a week or 2 week long thing. But I think he has the power. He's going to have Ohtani on base in front of him. So yeah, like you said, he'll get the ribbies and is a good depth ad, I would say.
I completely agree.
Yeah. And we are brought to you by Game Time. Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll have. Game Time app experience is fantastic. The flash deals, last-minute tickets, easy to find and buy tickets. And of course, we talk about it all the time. The images of those seat views, what view you're going to have right from your seat. You don't have to worry about an obstructive view or anything. You can check that out right before. And of course, their lowest price guarantee and their event cancellation protection, which is huge. Bruce Springsteen just canceled his concert tonight and Friday in Philadelphia. So if you bought it with Game Time, you would have got your money back there. So Game Time is the place for last-minute ticket deals. It's the fastest growing ticket app in the country for a reason. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps, and you're set. Tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you never have to dig through your email. So snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code SGPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code SGPN for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
All right, we got a question from the chat. Chad, what up, Chad? He said, "How real is this Josh Bell resurgence? Worth the gamble as a depth piece?" For me, I'm gonna say, as a depth piece, he's worth the gamble. I get that he's hit 5 home runs since he went over there. Miami is more of a pitcher's park than Cleveland was, so I don't fully buy into it. And he has an 8% line drive rate since he switched over. Again, very small sample size, but he has a way higher ground ball rate. Fly ball rate is also higher as well, but a lot of those fly balls he's hitting, I don't think are going to continue to turn into home runs, and then his value is going to dip considerably. But as a depth piece, yeah, I'm in on Josh Bell right now.
Yeah, I like Josh Bell possibly as more than a depth piece. We talk about the vibes all the time, and the vibes in Miami are much better than the vibes in Cleveland there with Jazz Chisholm healthy and all that stuff. Soler got up to 30 bombs already. He's someone that's also been completely overlooked this season. But yeah, Josh Bell, he got the change of scenery he needed. It didn't quite work out last season in San Diego for him, but he's killing the ball down in Miami. 2 home runs at Cincinnati, a home run at home against the Yankees, against the Astros, hitting 2-3 in that lineup. So yeah, if you need first base or util help, I think Bell is worth a pickup now and see if you can ride this hot streak out to the playoffs.
Okay, somebody I want to ask you about, because I very vividly remember you telling me that you do not like this player, but they've been hot lately. He goes by the name of Michael Conforto for the San Francisco Giants.
Ooh, yes.
He has multiple hits in his last 4 games, including 2 home runs and 3 RBI in that time frame. Since July 29th, he's hitting .340 with more walks than strikeouts, and he's also got 5 extra base hits. Are you starting to buy into the Conforto hype right now? Do you think he's can help some teams moving forward, or are you still out on Conforto?
I think he's like you said with Bell, he's probably a good depth piece. See if he can keep this up, because he has been, like you said, he has been having a hot streak here for the Giants, up to 15 home runs on the season. They are going on the road this weekend in Atlanta, which is not an easy matchup there. Yeah, his baseball savant page isn't great, pretty much 50 percentile or worse everywhere. But that rolling expected WOBA has been skyrocketing over the past 50 plate appearances. So, maybe he figured something out. Maybe he got something with his swing there. But yeah, Conforto, he's not somebody that I would necessarily be targeting. But, if you need somebody, if you're scraping that barrel, I say Conforto, go for it.
Yeah, I think this is just a typical Conforto hot streak. If you're in like a 5 outfielder league, or you're really hurting in a 12-team league with kind of expanded rosters, I think you could find a spot for Conforto, because he is a guy, he does have power. Like, he's a 30 home run hitter in the past. He's shown he can do it. When he can stay healthy, he does still have that power. But the problem is, like, even in this little hot stretch he's in right now, his average exit velocity is 85 miles an hour with a 4% barrel rate. So he's just hitting little dink and dunks that are getting through, and he's getting on base. Which, cool, that does translate to fantasy value. Going 2 for 4, 2 for 4, 2 for 4, 3 for 4, that translates to fantasy value. But that also shows why he's only got 3 RBI in the month of August. So, yeah, I think he is one that is going to end up being more for the deeper leagues than, say, like a 10 or a 12-team league. But, yeah, a 12-team league with 5 outfielders, I don't hate him as my 5th outfielder. I might hate him as my 4th outfielder, though.
Yeah, I think that's a good call there. And then someone I wanted to bring up on last episode yesterday, and today he is 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored. Is Ezekiel Tovar, shortstop for the Colorado Rockies, 38% rostered in Yahoo leagues. He's been up and down this year, but since August 7th, he's now played 10 games. He is 14 for 40 in those 10 games, if you include today, which, quick math, is a 350 batting average. 3 home runs, 3 doubles, 12 strikeouts, 2 stolen bases. So he has a little bit of power, has a little bit of speed. The Rockies are home this weekend against the White Sox, and I believe they are home one of the first weeks of the fantasy baseball playoffs. So I think Ryan McMahon is someone else I picked up, kind of stash a little bit for the playoffs. He has a home run today. And I think Tovar is another guy that if he only has 7 steals on the season, so not too much speed, but shortstop is a position where you might need some help, especially in those deeper leagues at middle infield. So I think Tovar can be a solid pickup as well.
Yeah, I was really high on Tovar coming into the season because I liked the combo of having supposedly elite speed with okay pop and playing at Coors. I figure it could translate to like a 2020 season somehow. But then he just forgot how to steal bases in a season where the bases are bigger, which kind of sucks. But he still has 43 extra base hits in 113 games this year. He's still finding ways to get it done with the bat. Still hitting about 253. So I do like him. I like him for different reasons than I liked him coming into the season. He hasn't lived up to my hype that I had for him, but he's still found a way to be fantasy relevant, especially right now. And I love that you mentioned he is going to be at home for the first week of the fantasy playoffs, because that is huge. Those are little minute things you can do towards the end of the season to prepare yourself to have a good first or second week of the fantasy playoffs. You can start looking at schedules. You can start seeing, okay, does Cincinnati have a lot of games at home in that first week?
Yeah.
And if they do, who's playing Cincinnati? What guys from there can I target? Same with Colorado. Like, are they at home for the first week of the playoffs? Oh, they are. Okay. Who from those teams is available that I can kind of sneak into my lineup now to get the advantage? So that was a good call out by you.
Yeah,
I
Rockies
like that one a lot.
Are away next week, the 21st to 27th. They are home 28th through the 3rd with one off day against the Braves and Blue Jays. On the road that next week, which I think could be the first week of the playoff, depending on your league. But that following week, I called it out a few shows ago. They have from the 11th to the 17th. They play every day against the Cubs and the Giants, all at home. So I think, if you can manage to hold on to a Rocky or two, I think that's something you should do for the playoffs.
Yeah, and then Steven asked about Royce Lewis. I still kind of have the same opinion on him as I did when he first came back to from injury and all that earlier in the year. I still firmly believe that he's a better regular, just general baseball player than he is fantasy baseball player. There's a lot of tools there that people like. He does have power. He does have speed. But for one, Minnesota sucks. It's not a very good lineup to be hitting in counting stats wise.
They're in first place.
He can't stay healthy. He can't. Man, Minnesota sucks. They can't hit on the road. They strike out so much, but they got boppers. But yeah, he can't stay healthy. He's very Byron Buxton-esque. Like, he should be so good, but he just doesn't seem to be on the field enough. He doesn't steal enough bases for me to really be excited about his speed. And his power doesn't translate to the home run numbers that you would hope out of somebody with that much power as well. So I'm iffy. Again, deeper leagues, obviously 12, 15 team league, he's probably rosterable, startable. There'll be some value there while he's healthy, but I can't count on him now till the rest of the year. So I'm personally staying away.
I mean, you said it. When he's healthy, he can be a pretty good player. He's hitting 327 on the season before going 3 for 4 with an RBI and stolen base today. He's now 1 for 3 yesterday in return from injury. So hit third yesterday, hit fourth today on Wednesday. They're home against the Pirates this weekend. I think, if he's available and you need third base shortstop help, ride him while he's healthy. Ride him while he's hot. So I think Lewis 31% rostered. If he was healthy, he'd probably be rostered in more leagues. So maybe see if this is something where he can stay healthy for a few weeks or the rest of the season, and maybe he can be the guy to, push you over the edge for the playoffs.
Another guy that I think people should be targeting for a good playoff push, somebody that wasn't really on my radar until a couple days ago, would be Liover Peguero. I would like to say he had an excellent card in last year's MLB The Show, Future Stars card. I was a big fan of that one. But he's kind of coming into his zone a little bit since August 7th. So about 8 days so far. Small sample size, of course. But in that time frame, he's hitting 357 with 3 extra base hits, including a couple home runs. He's driven in 6 and stole a base. He's lowered his strikeout rate considerably. because for the year it's at about 34%. It's been 25% of that time frame. So he may be improving. He looks to be improving. Again, I've said this about a couple teams now. The Pirates aren't improving. They're not a very good team. They're kind of just giving a lot of young guys a shot at this point to see how it goes. And I think there's sneaky value there for Peguero. He has second and shortstop eligibility. Second base is very thin.
Yeah.
And he showed decent speed power combo in the minors. I think he hit 13 home runs in the minors in 70 games and stole 21 bases. So there's upside there. Is he somebody that you would target? He's owned in like less than 1% of ESPN leagues right now.
Yeah, he's rostered in 2% of Yahoo leagues. In deep leagues, yeah, give him a shot. He seems to be hitting the ball well right now, but I don't think he's someone you can really rely on. Maybe a stopgap for Ozzy Albies or someone like that. Or just deep leagues only is what I would be looking at. I'd also be looking at the Sports Gambling Podcast Patreon. Sign up for the Patreon to get access to exclusive contests, including the NFL win totals contest with $1,000 first place prize. Besides season-long contests, they also have weekly contests just for the patrons, plus a monthly SGP Stories podcast, completely ad-free and full of behind-the-scenes stories from SGPN. There's even a Discord channel just for the patrons. Only you can prevent corporate gambling. Do your part and sign up today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. And a quick injury update on Marcus Stroman. We talked about him yesterday. His start was postponed.
Mm-hmm.
Seems he has a rib cartilage fracture, which fractured rib does not seem like it's going to be anything good. If you don't have any IL spots, I wouldn't be opposed to dropping him given his recent performance that we talked about yesterday. Has been horrific in his past few starts. So, yeah, I think Stroman might just be shut down for the season at this point.
Yeah, I think what we talked about yesterday is pretty safe, like you said, at this point to drop him. There's not a lot of upside, especially with only a month left. There's no way in hell a rib cartilage fracture heals in a month to help you in any capacity. Yeah. Between now and the fantasy playoffs, we did have another question in the chat. Matthew Hennings, what up, Matthew? He asked if Tyler Soderstrom is still worth holding. I gotta say no. I'm starting to. What do you think?
Why are you still holding him? Is what I'm thinking. He's been.
Remember, he is in that huge league. He's in that huge dynasty.
He's in the huge league where. If you have like a minor league roster or a bench spot and you want to have a catcher, maybe, but he's been batting under 200 for almost 2 weeks now. 3 for his last. What's this? Let's see if Baseball Reference loads. 3 for his last 30, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks. Yeah, I can't. I can't. Yeah, you can drop Soderstrom.
Yeah, I'm starting to think Soderstrom is just one of those guys that. Overly aggressive at the plate, a lot of power, but overly aggressive, just trying to hit everything for a home run, and that doesn't work when you get up to the major league level. So, yes, he was my boy initially. I was wrong on that one. I'll eat some crow. I did think Soderstrom was going to be better than Gelof, and both of those things have been wrong. Gelof has been incredible. Soderstrom has not been good, but hey, you win some, you lose some. For the record, I did call Adley Rutschman as the #1 catcher in fantasy baseball this year, and he's still holding steady on that one. And Steven, Tristan Casas over Josh Bell for me. Casas has been crazy hot. But speaking of somebody else that's been hot.
Let me just touch on Tristan Casas right now, because he's been more than high. In the first half, 250 at-bats, 9 home runs, 27 RBIs, hit 225. In the second half, in 90 at-bats, so what's that? About a third, he has 10 home runs. So that's 1 more home run than he had in the first half. 20 RBIs, hitting 337, 1.146 OPS, and the Red Sox are in it. So yeah, if Casas is available in your league, or if you're considering dropping him, I would not. I think he's someone that can help your fantasy team as well as the Red Sox possibly to a playoff spot.
Yeah, I love that. He was somebody. Highly touted prospect, good hit tool, decent power, started out slow, and all of that is coming together, and he's putting up big numbers. I have the little from my ESPN fantasy league. I have him in one of my home leagues, and I swear every other day I get an update that the man hit a home run. Jose Siri pulled with an injury. Don't like to see that. Jose Altuve also got injured as well.
Yeah.
If we want to just throw that out there, which sucks because I think we just talked about Altuve like last week, and we talked about how look, he's healthy, he's playing well. Not gotta worry about it. He's gonna be good the rest of the year. And I think he got hit with another fucking pitch again or something, and he's hurt again. So
Jose Siri left the game with a left pinky finger sprain after he slid into second base. So I think he'll probably play through that. But yeah, the Rays need something to go right down there.
But speaking of something going right, before the season for Fantasy Pros, I did write my Blake Myers must-have players for 2023. And on that list was a player by the name of Seth Brown. Now, has it gone right? Not really, because he missed a ton of time this year. He's only played about 70 games, I think, or 74 games, excuse me. But he's been effective in the games he's played. So far in those games, he has 23 extra base hits while hitting 220, but that's very par for the course. When it comes to Seth Brown, you're not going to get the crazy high batting average, but he has been great since July 29th. He's hitting over 300, 3 home runs, 11 RBI. He's doing a lot of things that you want. And for as bad as Oakland is, we've talked about it before, they do have some solid pieces at the plate. Seth Brown has legitimate power. He's proved that before. He's hit over 20 home runs in the past. I think he hit 25 last year. So there's upside there as well. And in a lot of leagues, he'll get like first base and outfield eligibility. We love a good dual eligibility player. Would you target Seth Brown in a maybe? Is he good enough to be a third outfielder in a 12-team league?
No, absolutely not a third outfielder. I was looking at his raw stats, and yeah, he's hitting 319 since July 20th, 29th, but only has 1 home run in those 15 games. His power hasn't really been there. I mean, on this season, he has 11 home runs, I believe. 11 home runs in 74 games, which extrapolates out to 24 home runs over a full season while hitting 220, which is fine. You get that out of a lot of players nowadays. Looking at his StatCast page, barrel rate is 87th percentile, average exit velo 70th percentile, K rate's awful, walk rate's okay, expected slugging's good. So when he makes contact, it's good. He should probably have more home runs than he does, but I don't think I can recommend anyone to pick up Seth Brown at this point.
The one thing I've noticed recently, though, is he is making good contact and a lot of contact. His contact rate since that July 29th game is 82% overall. It's like 91% for zone contact, which is good. 12% barrel rate. So he's getting the bat on the ball and he's making good contact. He does just need it to turn into home runs rather than I misspoke when I said 3 home runs. That was 3 runs. It's 1 home run, 3 runs. But yeah, he is somebody that I do like right now. He has been streaky in the past. So I think if you want to try and take advantage of a guy like him while he's hot, it's worth it. There is upside there. He does play the Mariners coming up next week, I believe. I know that because I was diving into the Mariners schedule yesterday. So that will be tough trying to go against that Mariners pitching. But there is upside there. And yeah, like him as a 5th outfielder. I'm okay with him as a 4th outfielder, even in a points league at this point, because he's only striking out 13% of the time lately. So that's huge, especially for him. So I even like him in a points league. There may be some better players, but I think he could be pretty consistent between now and the end of the year, which I'm all for.
Yeah, one other outfielder, just to throw him your way here, is Marcell Ozuna. He's been 56% rostered in Yahoo, 24 home runs on the season, 60 RBIs. He's on a hit streak right now. I'm trying to pull up his game log. Went 2 for 2 with a home run on Tuesday night against the Yankees. The Yankees who had 1 hit in that game. Yeah, he has a 13-game hit streak, hitting 333 in that span with 2 home runs, 5 doubles, 14 strikeouts to his 16 hits, 7 walks. So, and he's hitting 5th in that lineup. He's hitting behind Matt Olson. So if they pitch around Olson, like we talked about last episode, Ozuna is going to be right there to pick up those RBIs. So I think Ozuna is also a streaky guy, and
Mhm.
right now he's hot. So, in the Braves lineup is red hot. So, Ozuna, I think if he's available in your league, I would definitely target him to pick up over these next few weeks.
Yeah, I agree on that one. I say I agree a lot. You got a lot of good takes there, Ryan.
I
I
have the
agree on
best
that
week.
as well. Anytime you can get a 24 home run guy off waivers, if you're able to, that's big, especially this late in the year on a team like Atlanta, who all they do is score runs. So he's got a lot going for him. And also, I was looking more at Vaughn Grissom and Nicky Lopez today. I know we talked about them next episode. I think our last episode, I think next episode, we may have a little segment where we break down who we like more going forward. Just
I love
because
it.
there's a lot to like about Nicky Lopez. I really like Vaughn Grissom, but I'm seeing a lot of things about Nicky Lopez that I like, and I'm unsure which one I actually like more for the rest of the season. So that'll be something we break down probably tomorrow when I can dive a little deeper into it.
Yep. One more guy that's with the blind item here, just throwing your way. Maikel Garcia, third base and shortstop for the Kansas City Royals, hitting 290, 721 OPS, 18 stolen bases, only rostered in 38% of leagues. I think someone in the chat thinks Steven Williams said he has Garcia as his shortstop, and he was looking to get Royce Lewis. But yeah, Maikel Garcia is someone hitting leadoff for the Royals. He's someone I would look to add if you're looking for some speed for the playoffs. If you don't, you can't punt stolen bases, you can't punt saves in the playoffs. And Garcia's hitting close to 300, hitting 348 during his current 17 game hit streak he's got going on. No home runs, but 2 doubles, 1 triple, 4 stolen bases. So he'll give you some speed, he'll give you that average, and hopefully the Royals can drive in some runs there. So I like Garcia a lot and think he's being overlooked.
Yep, he's a 40 stolen base guy in the minors, elite speed at the major league level, and the Royals are not shy. They're not shying away from letting the guy steal. So as long as he keeps getting on base, there's going to be a lot of fantasy value there. And he's had enough plate appearances now that the 290 batting average, I'm okay saying that's a pretty real batting average for this year. It's not overly inflated. So if he can keep that up, yeah, I think he has sneaky good value. I think I wrote about him like 5 weeks ago in my waiver wire
You were
article as
early
somebody
on him.
to
You were early
target.
on him.
So yeah, he's a very sneaky pickup. He's flying under a lot of people's radars. I mean, on ESPN, he's only 8.5% rostered. So yeah, a great pick at shortstop. He's going to be very, very consistent for you. Again, especially in a points league. I'm very big on my points leagues. He has a ton of value in points leagues and a multi-category value in category leagues as well.
Yeah, and speaking of Royals with second or shortstop and third base eligibility, I just want to eat some crow, give some props to Bobby Witt Jr. He's just been incredibly consistent this season. He had a slow start, but hitting 389 with 5 home runs in 13 August games, hit 327 with 6 home runs in 24 July games. He's been killing it. I mean, he's showing why he's a top 2-round pick, if not definitely a first-round pick. I mean, he's doing this on a bad Royals team, so imagine having people around him. 34 stolen bases, 23 home runs, hitting 277. He does it all.
Yeah, he has been incredible this year. I think he's going to be a top 10 picks next season because he had a really good season last year. Wasn't he the only guy that had like 20 home runs, scored 80 runs, drove in 80 runs, and stole 30 bases? I think he was the only player in baseball that did that last year. But he kind of still got overlooked because the batting average wasn't great and all that. He's fixed the batting average this year and improved his power, stealing more bases, doing everything. So yeah, Bobby Witt Jr. is a tank. Just ask Emerson Hancock last night, who was cruising through 4 innings, and then Witt hit that fucking monster of a grand slam off of him, which hurt my heart. Dude, these Mariners games, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but these Mariners games against the Royals have been brutal on my soul. Like, we were up 7-0 after the 4th inning yesterday. The Mariners hit the ball combined 1,700 feet in the 4th inning yesterday, and 1 inning later it was 5-7, and the next thing you know it's 7-7, and then we got to go to fucking extra innings to win 10-8. But Teoscar went 5 for 5. Shout out Teoscar Hernandez. A lot of crazy Mariners baseball going on right now. But if you guys want to hear me rant more about Mariners baseball, go check out my other podcast that I just started. Look at that transition. I'm getting better at this. My other podcast I started, it is called Mariners Addict Right now, it is really only on Spotify. It's on some smaller platforms as well. I'm waiting just for Apple Podcast and the iHeartRadio approval right now, which should happen soon. Like little 20-minute episodes. I'm going to be doing probably just one a week here and there. Getting some Mariner shit off my chest. Horrible wording of that sentence, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be me by myself. Kind of, I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm going to have fun doing it. And make sure you guys follow us on all of our socials. We are at Fake Baseball Money on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. Make sure you hit the subscribe and the follow button. We are at Fake Baseball Money on Twitter. You can follow us on Facebook, Fake Baseball Money. We are live there right now. What up to all the people on Facebook watching us in the live? And you can follow me on Twitter at Buhlockaye, BUHHLOCKAYE.
And you can follow me on Twitter at RGilbertSOP.
And we'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.